Well, the Supreme Court decision on Thursday basically made it so that the chemical industry can kill, maim, and injure you and your children with effectively impunity. Sounds crazy, right? Does that sound crazy? But let me tell you how they did it, okay, just to make sure you understand. Bayer, the maker of the pesticide glyphosate. Anybody here know what glyphosate is? Okay, it's the most common pesticide on food in America. All right? They sell about $10 billion worth of this pesticide a year. Here's the problem Bayer was having. They had paid out about $10 billion for just one type of injury from this product, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, from only one type of exposure on the skin, from only one class of individuals that used it, those who applied pesticides. Think about that. They're selling around $10 billion worth of the product a year, but they got to pay out over $10 billion for causing that one type of cancer. And here's the issue. With their billions of dollars, they're able to lobby the executive branch, influence elections, and even got the White House over there to issue an executive order not long ago to declare glyphosate a national security interest. And the EPA for decades has done nothing about it. They've got billions of dollars to influence members of Congress right there. But you know what their money can't buy? Anybody got a guess? What do you get? Who? Their money can't buy juries. So they could get the executive branch to protect them. They could get maybe the legislature to protect them. But at the end of the day, we the people were able to hold them accountable for poisoning and causing cancer to the tune of $10 billion. They had a jury problem. A jury problem. They had a you problem. You. And you and you. We who actually care. They had a problem with us directly. And the Supreme Court on Thursday got rid of their jury problem. How? Here's what the United States Supreme Court, sitting behind that building, which, by the way, their government, that building's government, the White House is government, they're all government. Just the only people not government in this whole equation are the jury and the plaintiffs and their lawyers. That's it. Okay? Here's what they said. Monsanto, Bayer, argued that the EPA government approved the label on that pesticide. And when they did that, they didn't include cancer on the label. And hence, can't sue for cancer because it's not on the label. And they also provided that if it is on the label, you can't sue either because you've been warned. The primary claim that was brought to hold the company accountable for causing cancer was failure to warn. And as of Thursday, the United States Supreme Court of America decided that in all 50 states, you can no longer bring a claim for failure to warn, the primary way that we were holding these chemical companies accountable. You can't bring a failure to warn claim if it's not on the label, because EPA didn't find that's a problem, and you can't bring it if it's on the label, because now you've been warned. For those who say they knew about the decision, did you know that? No. It gets worse. That decision didn't just apply to that one form of pesticide. It's actually a herbicide, well, a form of pesticide. It actually applies to tens of thousands of products that the EPA issues labels for. All herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, rodenticides. As of this Thursday, the chemical companies that make these products intended to kill living things can no longer be held accountable for their failure to warn the public of the harms and dangers of those products. As long as some government official sitting over there at the EPA doesn't find that it's a problem. Forget the juries that found that that product had caused tens of billions of dollars of harm. That should be incredibly concerning to every single American. And I'll tell you why, and then I'm going to move over to a different topic. Just think about it like this. Glyphosate's causing the cancers that I just talked about. But here's the thing. The farmer that uses glyphosate is going to have more yield than the farmer that doesn't. Okay? Which is why the farmer that didn't adopt that wasn't able to beat out the other farmers, so they all adopted it. The next pesticide that's even more toxic than glyphosate, the farmer that adopts that is going to have even better yield. So what's the farmer that's using now the less toxic glyphosate going to have to do if they want to compete? Use the even more toxic product if they want to be competitive in the marketplace. And now you have a race to the bottom to the most toxic chemical pesticide out there because the companies are not going to be able to be held accountable for failure to warn for the harms caused by the very products that are intended to kill living things. That's incredibly troubling. And over the next decades, I think we will look back and long for the days when we have the safer forms of pesticides we have today. Now, we've seen this rodeo before. My primary work that I engage in is not related to pesticides. It's related to vaccines, actually. And I'm using what happened this past Thursday as a segue into what has happened with vaccines over the last 40 years. Because the United States Supreme Court and Congress did the same thing with vaccines 40 years ago. I used to be able to get on the stage, or any stage, and say that the only product in America where effectively the company can kill, injure, and maim you and your children with impunity are vaccines. I now can no longer say that. I now have to add pesticides to that list, and rodenticides, and insecticides, and fungicides. Vaccines are a great way for you to see why what happened on Thursday is such a problem.